What is up YouTube, Fanta here, and today I'm reviewing Mario and Luigi Paper Jam. This game really looked interesting. I'm a big fan of the Mario and Luigi games and Paper Mario games, so I really wanted to see how the two would mix together. And how it really mixed together is, it's not like they made this into like a Paper Mario style game. It really kept the same Mario and Luigi formula, but added just a splash of Paper Mario by including the paper characters and the way that they interact with the 3D environment. And talking about the 3D environment with these 2D characters is really interesting. I really like what they did with it. I like that there may be the same enemy, but the paper version has a completely different attack, which is really cool. Sometimes like the Goombas, instead of just running at you like the 3D ones will, the paper ones will actually jump up and then float at you. So you have to time the jump differently, and it kind of mixes it up a little bit. One thing that is a little bit annoying about this game is that the story is the usual, oh, I gotta save the princesses, which is a little bit frustrating, but I mean, it's a Mario game. But I don't know. I was hoping something different out of a Mario and Luigi Paper Jam game. It'd have been really cool if Bowser was trying to trap all of them into the book, including the 3D Mario, and just kind of see how he interacts with the paper world. And I don't know, there were just so many things that I feel like could have been done with the story. But I mean, the story as is isn't too big of an issue, because just the gameplay itself is so much fun. The little bit of platforming is a little bit annoying with the perspective of it when you're trying to jump this way, like away from your camera or towards the camera. It's kind of hard to gauge depth perception when you're jumping, especially because you're controlling 3 characters at once and you're trying to make that jump perfectly. It kind of gets annoying sometimes. But other than that, the puzzles are pretty fun. Like when you have to, you later learn a super hammer move, which will help you knock something into something else to just clear your way for later on. Which was a really fun aspect because you had to kind of aim while you're moving on platforms and all this other stuff. So it's kind of fun multitasking. And also, speaking of multitasking, the battles are so much fun. Coming back to the combat, I really had a blast with the combat. That's where the game really shined, in my opinion. I really loved the attacks where you're interacting with it. You have to like time it perfectly as you're jumping or using the hammer. Or if you're Paper Mario, you're splitting up into 6 different Marios with 6 different hammers, and you have to wait for that exact perfect moment to unleash that special attack, which is really cool. And then different enemies, you have to attack them different ways, like the spiked little turtles that are on the ground. I'm sorry, I forgot the name. You have to knock them over first, and then once you've knocked them over, you don't want to use the hammer anymore. You want to jump on them, and that gives you crits. So that's a lot of fun. Love that a lot. I didn't really use the amiibo functionality too much because it felt like cheating, because it helps you level up faster and pretty much makes you win battles. It is cool that they do make it accessible for kids, or people that are really bad at video games, because there's an easy mode. And then if you don't want to use the easy mode but you still want it to be accessible, there's a little book at the bottom of your touchscreen where you can actually look up everything you've learned. So if you forget something, you don't have to look it up online, which is really nice, because whenever you have to look up something online, it kind of pulls you out of the game. And tying to that, some of the Toad hunts I really did need to look online, which is frustrating. I really was not a huge fan of the Toad hunts in this game. I think it would have been like a much stronger game without them, because it just felt like a waste of time, really. Like, it didn't feel like it was needed. It didn't feel like it really helped the story. Maybe if you'd save Toads along the way, because you do need Toads for a certain part of the story, but I wish they had just done it in a different way instead of doing hide and seek, especially when you're timed. That was just frustrating, in my opinion. I'm sure other people will think differently. I just didn't like it too much. And the papercraft battles. Now, I didn't find these horrible. I just think they might have been able to be done better. It was kind of a nice change of pace from the usual combat. It was a little bit of a different game where you've got this big old Mario and you gotta stomp on the big Goombas. So it's still the same type of combat where you're trying to stomp on something, but there's like a different way of aiming, and then you have to like try to get behind them so you can knock them over, and if they're dizzy. So there's a whole new way of combat in that, and it does keep it fresh, at least. I'll give it that. It does make it fresh, but I don't know. It wasn't my favorite mode. It wasn't my least favorite. I didn't hate it by any means. It was much better than the Toad Hunts, but I don't know. I feel like they could have done something different with it just to make it better. I mentioned earlier that the story wasn't too strong, but I really actually did like the dialogue a lot. It wasn't extremely meaningful or anything like that, but it was humorous and clever at points. I liked the interaction between the Paper Bowser and the 3D Bowser, and the Bowser Jr. and the other Bowser Jr. It was really interesting to see that, those conflicting personalities, and just how they got along with their other selves. What was kind of annoying though is there weren't that many interactions between Paper Mario and other Mario. I guess they were just both good characters, so there wasn't really any conflict between them. But it was pretty funny to see the two Bowsers fight over their power, and all their minions, Paper and 3D, chanting for them in a couple of scenes. It was really cool. I did like that a lot. All the RPG aspects are there, like getting new gear, leveling up, and even when there's not only just the regular leveling up, you go from different ranks. You start at Mushroom rank, and then when you level up to like Shell rank, you can pick a perk for one of your characters, and only one of those characters can get that perk. And you can only get that perk once. So it's kind of interesting trying to balance who gets the bonus defense with every level, who gets the bonus health with every level, who gets the bonus like special power after every level. So it kind of adds another depth to it, which I really liked. So in conclusion, I really liked Mario and Luigi Paper Jam a lot. I thought this was a great game. Personally, I give this game an 8 out of 10. Just because I sank way too many hours in this game, and I didn't even know that I did until like every time I saved, it was like, what, I've played for how many hours now? Like it was ridiculous. I just kept wanting to play it and play it and play it. Yeah, I mean, I highly recommend this game if you are a Mario and Luigi fan, or if you've never played them before. This is a great one to jump into just because it is easily accessible, and like I said, a lot of fun. It's weird though, because if you look at other reviewers, this game really didn't do too well on IGN, GameSpot, and a couple other places. It got like a 5.9 on IGN, and their reasoning was mostly because of the Toad Hunts and the story. And I don't think that warrants a 5.9, because I had a lot of fun in the battles, and some of the puzzle aspects were a lot of fun when you weren't in a battle, when you're just kind of running around the world. You kind of have to figure out how to get to certain platforms, how to, like, which rocks to break in which order, and I thought that was all kind of fun. But I don't know, I guess IGN and GameSpot were just kind of sick of rescuing the princesses again. But, you know, I guess to each their own. I really enjoyed it. I know Destructoid gave it, I think they also gave it an 8 out of 10. I don't remember. I'll put like a list of the scores right here. But yeah, highly recommend it. And thanks for watching, guys. February 17th at 9 a.m. That's the most recent that I can post my review of Fire Emblem. So definitely look forward to that. And then shortly after, because I wasn't expecting to get Fire Emblem so early, I will be reviewing Chibi Robo. This wasn't sent to me by Nintendo. I just bought this on my own because it was on sale. And I don't know, it was another game that got horrible reviews, and I really want to see if it actually deserved those horrible reviews, because Yoshi's Woolly World got a 7 and I love it. So I don't know. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. If you guys want to see some gameplay of Paper Mario for the N64, definitely head on over to Pixel Party, because we're going to be doing that next week. Thanks for watching, guys.